What up, what up, what up? It's the Uneducated podcast coming at you with episode 3.
Episode 3,
Episode
dog.
3. It's your boy Slate Diggity.
For Dale.
My boy Tracy, a.k.a. T-Rizzle.
What's up, what's up?
And Mr. Matthew Jackson.
What's up, brother?
Back at you again.
Playing that fire, bro. That intro is tight.
Thank you.
They're not gonna think that you just played that. You know what I
Probably
mean? They're gonna be like, oh, that was some recording. No, Matt was like playing that. You know what I'm
100%
saying?
all Matt.
Yeah.
Now you owe him $10.
Oh, yeah, I got you with that back in the day, didn't I?
Yep.
I used to, I think, whenever we would do conventions, I remember first time I met him, I was like, I bet I can impress you in 10 seconds or less. I just pulled out harmonica. No one knows that I play. So
And that's how you wooed him as a friend.
I won his heart.
That's how he got me.
That's
Yep.
tight.
He said, now you got to move to Columbus, Indiana. And now here I am.
Yep.
It worked, bro.
Yep, it worked.
Matt got that game.
No.
He just pulls that bad boy out like a snake charmer, just starts playing.
Just play the balloon.
Slater's just like,
they're just-
mesmerized.
Yeah. Getting jiggy with it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
What's up, boys? How you doing this week?
Good. It was a good week. Yep.
Pretty solid. A little tired, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've had not much sleep?
No.
Yeah, tell the people what you've been up to. How are you even alive right now? Like, how are you awake? I don't understand.
Endorphins or something,
I cannot live my life that way. That's all I'm saying. I require a lot of sleep.
So
That's all.
I'll give you a quick little update of just what happened. As you can see in episode 2, I was about to go to Orlando. Orlando has happened now. Got up Sunday morning at the convention and didn't even show up to that convention. We can maybe get into that later, but went to the Titanic Museum. Got up about 7:30, you know what I mean, Sunday morning. Took my normal shower, all that good shit. Went to the Titanic Museum, went some mini golfing, went and packed up at the convention, got home, back at the Airbnb around like 2 o'clock, and then, took another shower, decided, fuck it, let's leave. It's like 4:30, and drove all night, got home this morning at, I think, like 9:30. Now I'm here.
Yeah, you were here
No
early,
sleep,
too.
gang. Huh?
Yeah, you were here early, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you said you haven't slept since Saturday night. So
Yep. Since Saturday
so
night.
you were up all day yesterday, and then drove all through the night.
All through the night.
And then you were like, yeah, we can get in a podcast.
Yep.
He's like, just let me shower when I get home. So I saw your wife's story or whatever, like, I don't know, an hour and a half ago maybe, and it said it had been posted 17 minutes ago, and you were just pulling up to Columbus, and I was like, they just got here, and now he's about to go shower, and he's gonna come straight to do a podcast, and
That's what I did.
hasn't slept since Saturday night.
Got here, unloaded, and took a shower and came over.
All for the love.
All for it.
All for the love,
you
bro.
guys.
You got to give the people what they want. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they wanted Mo.
A little bit more. So here we are.
Yep.
Episode 3.
So tell us about the convention. We didn't hear great stuff.
All right.
Bro, your girl
listeners.
Olivia is starting out though. I just saw her story, and she was like not happy with how things were going. And then you started talking about it. I was like, man, it must not have been great. I don't know.
This was probably by far the worst convention I ever been to. Any artist that is listening to this, do not ever go to the Orlando Tattoo Show.
It seems like the general consensus online. I woke up, first like 5 to 10 posts I saw this morning were all based around it, which is pretty like disheartening.
I did see just one other person post something about it. Didn't know who they were. But yeah, I mean, that's rough, especially when you have people, because you don't want to like make bad relationships with people putting on conventions. But if that many people were actually speaking out and like, yo, this was not run well, blah, 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 then they must be,
So
they must really not care to be invited back. That's all I have to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I don't give
Well,
a
if
fuck.
you're not taking care of the artists on the floor, like with the the last couple episodes we talked about the great conventions we've done, and there's
That wasn't one.
every once in a while there's a flop.
So let me go ahead and put you on game a little bit, all right? So I only go to this convention for one person that was supposed to help put on the show. Said person ended up backing out. This after I already locked in, only only went to this convention to show support for him. Same with probably over half that convention.
Okay.
So, already one little miss there. I was like, whatever. Surely it can't be too bad. We still go, show up, get there Thursday. Registration is supposed to be from 5 to 7. Typically, whenever you go in for registration, you get all your paperwork, your lanyards, your little wristbands, all that. I show up. There's no booth ready for the registration. So I end up finding one of the hosts of the show. I was like, yo, where's my booth at? He points me in the right direction. Go over there. Give you like some rinky dink ass table. Nothing's out there. You know what I mean? Just a number for our booth.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, cool. I know I need to go get some stuff. And they told me that registration for like the lanyards and stuff would be there for Friday. So we set up our banners, leave everything, and then, we come back the next day. We get back the next day, get there as soon as it opens, which is 9 o'clock, and that's just for artists to come in and finish setting up. There's a line so fucking long in the convention just for registration. So we get in that line. It took us like an hour to get our paperwork and stuff. When I got up there, they didn't give us any tablecloths, no paper towels, no distilled water, no sharps containers. Fucking crazy.
Huge, yeah, huge.
And another thing is they gave us cloth wristbands.
Yep.
That's so disgusting. So disgusting. Because they're
Yeah.
like droopy, you know what I mean? And you cannot take them off at all. There's no pulling in and out because they had like the teeth on there. So it enabled you to like loosen
festival
it.
style wristbands.
Yeah. It was rough.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's tattooing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you could get a little bit in your glove, but it's going to rub all over everything.
Mm-hmm. But the sharps containers for sure. I haven't been to a convention where they didn't, because they want to have control of that and make sure that if anything is happening, they want to contain that crap.
Yeah.
So I've never been to a convention yet where I had to bring my own sharps container.
Yeah, no, ever.
Luckily, the homie next to us, Taylor, he ended up having a extra sharps container because he always brings one.
Okay.
And I didn't even tattoo at the show. I didn't make nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
But Olivia ended up picking up like 2 little small ones, and she just used, his little sharps container. So that was super tight. But the whole time there, man, it's like super unorganized. Nobody has any idea what's going on. Shit's being set up so late. I mean, the registration was still going on like 2 hours after the convention opened.
Mm-hmm.
You said you guys didn't have a stencil printer for.
Oh yeah, we didn't even have a stencil printer for like the first like 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it broke.
Oh yeah. I think it broke on like Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember, but it ended up breaking, which that's not good.
Yeah.
We need stencils.
There was only one.
Only one.
Yeah. So that's a mistake in the first place.
And
Is
only
like
one
not
printer.
not even having a backup anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Was this a first year show?
No, that's what's even crazy.
Huh.
And on top of it, bro, they $2 for every print. Anytime you need to
For
print off
stencils?
something. I don't know if it was for stencils, but it probably for stencils too. But like, if you go to print your design off at their printer, $2. Usually they just ask for tips. Naturally, whenever
I mean, you already paid however many hundred for the booth. You know what I
1,000,
mean?
I think it was 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
And that's not including your travel fees, everything.
It doesn't even
No.
cover the cost of your freaking stencils being made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds rough,
Yeah,
dude.
they ended up putting
keep
it up
going.
there.
Sorry, I'm just like
No, you're
some
good.
of this stuff. I'm
It's
kind
baffling.
of dumbfounded a little
Bro,
bit.
I ended up printing like 16 to 19 sheets of flash at Staples for like $4.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to print that off there, I'm like, that's like $32, which probably not nothing, but I could buy way more paper for that than what you're using. You know what I mean? And if you ask for tips, naturally, I'm going to tip you like $5, $10, $20. You know what I mean? Depending on how well of a person you are and how efficient, I guess, But nah, it was $2, which that kind of sucks. And then there's only like one fucking printer. The guy that ran it had no idea what he was doing. He wasn't even a tattoo artist that was running the stencil section. So he was just lost the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I seen one lady, she posted on Instagram that she had got a booth, and when she got there, like, I guess artist was just like setting up wherever, you know what I mean? Like just getting a booth and setting up. So they ended up pushing her all the way in the back and gave her some small ass booth, not even a 10 by 10, and set her up back there. I don't know. It was just
So she didn't even get a booth. Technically, it was just
not
like,
really. I'm pretty sure it was like just set up last minute type shit, maybe for her.
yeah,
I don't even know. There's a lot of people that didn't even show up for it as well.
dude. They probably had homies like, got there beforehand and they were like, "Yo, don't even come." Like,
Probably.
this is super unorganized.
Probably. I mean, I had red flags instantly from like day one. I should have just knew better. You know what I mean? Should have just not even shown up. Just took it as a vacation or whatever. But we try to make the best out of it.
Mm-hmm.
At least we get to meet some super fucking cool people. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
dope ass artists and learn quite a bit. Oh, here's a kicker for you, bro. Couldn't bring in any outside drinks or food.
Okay.
They'd either make you throw it away or you got to eat it right out there. They set up like a little table outside in 95-degree humid ass heat for everybody to eat. Some of these people were bringing food for their clients, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some people got shit to do, but they got to go outside and eat. Then their food that they offer you is like absolutely dog shit. It's like you pay $10 for a burger. The burger's like, the patty's like that, super small, maybe that thin, burnt to hell, and the bun's like 5 times bigger, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that, $10. Gourmet, baby. Gourmet.
Well, that sounds like a rough time, bro.
But you said it kind of a blessing in disguise. You met some
Oh,
people
yeah.
and stuff this
Yeah, there was
weekend.
some super fire people that I got to meet, so that was tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And-
even those shows that can be a flop sometimes. Sometimes those connections that you get to build because everyone lost.
You
the whole
bond
weekend.
over what a flop the weekend was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Most of the people that I met was because they were like, we were sitting outside smoking because, nothing, the show was completely dead. Like, max, the amount of people that would like walk through our row at a time was 5 people.
mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So we was just sitting outside, hitting our vapes and stuff. People are walking in. We're watching all this shit just unfold. And there's like a couple people come walking in. I was like, look, don't even try. I said, don't waste your time. I said, they're going to make you throw it away. And they was like, yo, what the fuck? Are you for real? I was like, yeah, go ahead, try real quick. Just, see if they let you in. They walk up and they was like, yeah, you're gonna have to throw your food away, or we're setting up a table over there. And one of the ladies, she was like, well, I gotta go work. I'm trying to take this stuff in and go eat and get it in.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't. Just dumb, man.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Just a whole bunch of small stuff equals one big problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
There's way more than that as well, but I just don't even have the mental space to just talk about all of it right now.
Yeah. Well, you haven't slept in 3 days.
Yeah.
Bro, so.
No, not 3 days, but
On top of like the added stress of all of that. And
yeah, it was just, needless to say, I'm like 2,500 in the hole after all that bullshit.
Yeah. And it's like you said, like you could, if you would have known, you could have just chilled and, because your family went this time, and you could have just taken it as a vacation and screw the convention.
Yep.
But if you went there for the convention, you had already paid extra for the booth, not just your trip to Florida, like your stay and your travel or whatever. You already paid for it. So you at least want to be compensated a little bit for the convention, if not like cover the costs of it, Yeah. Like I think baseline that we all want at a convention is to break even, if not make some money on top of it. But especially if you didn't tattoo all weekend and it was completely dead and you didn't even have a good time because it wasn't run well and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, just, like you said, what a waste of money.
Hard lesson learned.
And I hope you just made a friend or two out of it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Plenty of friends.
Yeah.
Made quite a bit, but that's about it. Can't say any more, any less. just look on Instagram. There's plenty of people hating on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad to see that happen. Because there's not just you know what I mean? A lot of people lost money this weekend when they
Lots.
could have probably stayed home, tattooed their clientele at home, not been out a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, I made way more money here than I did there because
Right.
I was making deposits and people were booking here.
Yep.
So I mean, that's the only thing that really kept me afloat out there was just people spending money here.
Mhm.
Yep.
Whatever, it is what it is. So be careful.
Yep, for sure.
Be careful.
Go into tattoo conventions like it might be a vacation.
Yeah, 100%. Always plan for that
Yep.
because worst case scenario, that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. And I also feel like if it's not if it's not a convention that has a certain reputation, you know what I mean? Like if you go to a villain arts convention, you probably somewhat know what to expect because they operate a certain way. And also there's some other prestigious conventions where you guys go to. It's like we know how that is every year. It's well put on. The artists are taken care of, all this stuff. But there's a lot of cities that do, it's just like one-off type of conventions where someone decides to throw a convention, like a local thing.
Yeah.
And I think even like Jacksonville, Florida convention is like that. It's not a part of like a chain or anything. It's just like the Jacksonville Tattoo Expo. Someone puts it on, but it's like, you know, it was really well put on.
I think that's put on by the Blackworks and Fuck Sticks crew of people, if I'm not correct.
Okay, because they're from that they're from that
great.
area, right?
Yes.
So they have good sponsors for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a
And-
super tight crew anyway.
Yeah. But I feel like what you experienced this weekend, it's like if it's just some local convention, they don't have the right people in their corner. It could just be a crap
honestly,
show.
with the caliber of artists that was there, you figured it would have been way better.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna flop so bad with so many great artists there?
Yeah.
Whatever though. Just make sure you pay attention and like go to a convention that actually gives a fuck about you. You know, don't just show up to some bullshit ass convention. That's why I probably only do invite onlys, and I'll probably like dip my feet into some like villain arts ones here and there because let's be honest, they're busy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think Troy Temple ended up posting a video Friday or Saturday, and I ended up sending it to like Olivia and all of them. I was like, we should have been at this show. Like, what the fuck? It's way, way busier than ours.
And
I should have just packed up and went to Savannah and be like,
Right.
yo, Troy, can I work?
Mm-hmm.
And it's unmatched. Like, no one has more experience than Villain Arts.
No way.
Putting on shows.
Yeah.
Like, they've been doing it for how long? 20 plus years for sure.
Years, bro.
started
In
with
every
Eddie.
major city, right? Or
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh yeah, they've got quite a bit. I know they're constantly adding new.
I'm pretty sure that Savannah was a first annual.
Was it? They're
I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. And if it was, that's crazy because that Orlando show was, I think, the 4th annual.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm super interested in the Colorado Springs first annual. That's
yeah.
coming up.
I think that's is October or November.
I think it was October. I believe
That'd be
so.
tight.
Yeah.
That'd be tight.
Yeah, I'd love to go back there because I lived there as a kid. So,
Yeah.
so it'd be cool to go back
Oh
and
yeah,
check that out.
that'd be tight.
Colorado
Super tight.
Springs.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know much about Colorado. So is what city is it?
Colorado Springs. So it's near a military base town. There's like Pikes Peak is there, which is like a bunch of like hiking, rock formation, stuff like that.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't remember a whole lot
Okay.
from being there as a kid, but definitely go back and relive
Yeah, I've not
some
been
of
to
it, check
Colorado
it out.
Springs.
Yeah, I remember going to some
Pretty
like
tight.
Indian preserves and stuff when I was a kid there.
So like, sorry, I'm uneducated. With a K. Colorado Springs, is that like a national park or is it a city?
It's a
Like-
city.
It's a city.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I didn't know.
Yep.
Okay.
Do they have springs?
I would assume so.
I'd
I
hope
don't.
so.
I don't recall. But
I'd hope so.
I was young.
When is that one?
It's sometime next year, right? Yeah.
I thought they were doing it this
they
year.
are doing one. Okay, so their first annual is this year. Cool.
Maybe I think so.
Okay.
It's
Well,
tight.
there goes you not doing any more conventions this year.
I will not be at Colorado Springs if it
He
is
said,
this year.
but maybe Oregon sometime. But
Definitely maybe Oregon for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, and then Ohio. I'll
Yeah. Guest
for a little
spots, though.
guest spot. Yep.
Guest spots.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we had a topic we wanted to talk about today.
Funny stories.
You guys want to talk about it?
Let's get it.
Oh, let's go.
Some shop stories.
Let's hear some funny shit that has happened. I know we have a ton.
Oh, for
personally
sure.
at like Good Vibrations for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a lot from that time, and more so like crazy stories. I feel like just like wild things. That
Definitely some
happen.
crazy stories.
God, I don't even know where to start with it. Yeah, what you got? What you got, Slater?
You gonna start us out?
Let me think here. We got a lot.
Let's talk about the meth heads walking in the shop.
Bro, I remember. So Tony Johnson, were you there when Tony was on the guest spot and we were there super late? And dude came in.
Oh yeah.
Dude was like hyped to show us his tattoo he got removed.
Okay.
And he's hobbling around the lobby on one leg, lifting up his pant leg. Dude had cut a 4x4 inch square out of his leg, and it was black. Just like it.
Holy crap! Like just cut a piece of flesh and took it out.
He removed his own tattoo and everything else that was under it.
Certified scarification.
Where was this at?
This was when the studio was on Central Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said Tony Johnson was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was on a guest spot.
Yeah, you remember that time? I think it was me and Travis. We took the piercer from Good Vibrations, and we like slung her up.
Oh,
her head went into the roof.
Oh god.
Yeah, me and Travis. I mean, I'm pretty sure she asked for this. It was like consensual, you know what I mean? So we ended up like slinging her up, and her head like hit the roof, bro.
Dang.
I think it was like drop ceiling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like too bad, but still, that's. Did you ever go into the Good Vibrations over there off Central?
Yeah. Like 2 times.
Okay.
Maybe
so yeah,
2.
them ceilings are tall. It's a long stroke up.
I went to you guys' opening party or open house or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there that day.
What do you got?
Stories?
Funny stories, yeah.
Shoot, man. I was trying to think like I know that there's more than what I can remember. But here's one, and this is funny because it's like probably my first tattoo story. So I was apprenticing in North Vernon with Greg at the Needles Inn.
I've got some funny stories with Greg.
Yeah, I mean and definitely funny stories with Greg, but like there's some characters in North Vernon too. Just I mean it's freaking North Vernon, let's be honest. But like some people called ahead, and I was apprenticing, right? Like didn't have all the experience in the world, didn't really have any like crazy client stories yet. That's how new I was. Maybe like I don't know, 3 months in or 4 months in, I don't know, of actual tattooing. And then these people call ahead one day, and I think Greg talked to him on the phone or someone did, but they told us they had been out drinking. It was like a Friday or Saturday. And they asked if anyone was available to do a tattoo. This lady wanted like 3, I think she had 3 daughters, and she wanted their names in just little cursive script on her neck, like in a row, just 3 of them. So they came in, and then I asked Greg, I was like, so what are the rules with tattooing intoxicated people? You know what I mean? Because we've talked about it. And he said the rule is it's up to the discretion of each tattooer, and that's how it's going to be in your career. Like you don't want to do something on someone who's too intoxicated and they're making a bad decision on the spot, but at the same time, no one's going to fault you if you do.
Right.
And like it just it's that type of industry. You know what I mean?
I just don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but me being an apprentice, the lady and she was like. She was walking and talking just fine. She was a little loose, and I was like, okay, she's fine, you know. But also, I was an apprentice, and so Greg said, it's up to you. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yep. Give me that money. Like
right.
At that point, I needed to do any tattoo that came across my path.
Right.
So this lady, she ended up being a little wild. She was, and I don't know how old she was. Definitely like, you know. I don't know. She wasn't a senior citizen, but she was probably like in her 50s or something.
Right.
And she was a straight up cougar, bro. And she was after it, like me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you could see Greg was having a ball with this already.
Isn't everyone after Tracy?
I think so.
I don't know.
Sometimes I feel like Tracy's after me.
Bro, I just miss you. No, but anyway, so then I agreed to tattoo her, and she was like extremely inappropriate the entire time. And so she definitely was intoxicated, and you could tell, but like she wasn't like stumbling around out of her mind. She just was like saying whatever she wanted. So anyway, I stenciled her up, and I was tattooing her neck. And when you're tattooing a neck, you're in pretty close quarters with somebody. You know what I mean? Like right there, kind of face to face. And she was like whispering things in my ear, like quiet. No one else could hear it, but like she was whispering things to me, like under her breath, just like, you're turning me on, and I haven't been touched like this in years, and like all sorts of stuff, dude. She was just like after it for sure. And I was just kind of laughing along, like, you know what I mean?
Especially being 3 months in, it's like the first time something like that's happened to you.
Yeah.
It's like, what else are you gonna do but just like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm here now.
Yeah, you just kind of play along with it, like smile, laugh, whatever, you know. Not like I wasn't flirting back, but at the same time, it's just like, what else do you do?
Right.
You know? So then she was wearing a super low cut shirt, and she was laying like sideways on the table with her neck kind of, you know what I mean? Like just spread out. And then like one of her boobs just like flopped out of her shirt, like on the table, and was just like laying there right by her. And it just, I noticed it. Obviously it was literally like, I'm looking right here, kind of tattooing her neck. And then it was like right here and just flopped out on the table, like fell out of her shirt. And I didn't say anything. I just kept on going, be professional, whatever.
Right.
But like 10 minutes later, she all of a sudden like acted like she realized that it was out, like she didn't know. And I don't know, maybe she actually didn't know. I really don't know. But I was like, there's no way she didn't know. But she like just kind of looked down and noticed it and was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? And like put it back in her shirt. And I was like, it's okay, whatever, you know? So anyway, and then after that, we finished the tattoo. She's still whispering all this dirty stuff to me, like secretly in my ear type of deal, just like whispering to where no one else could hear it. But she kept on talking like the whole time. And after we were done, she said, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you up front about like, do you take other forms of tips?
Oh, God.
And I was like, I'm sorry, like, no, like I don't just no. You know, I don't know like exactly what I said to that, but I like kind of brushed it off, and I was like, no, it's okay. Like, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much. But she was just, and then obviously Greg being Greg, just jokes from there on out about that.
Yeah.
And he was like, see, now you have your first tattoo story, like some weird crazy client, because he just, over the last 20 years, he has so many crazy stories.
Oh, no.
And he would always be telling them. And so he's like, now you got your first story. But
That's a wild one.
yeah.
Yeah. That stuff baffles me, that kind of behavior, just because you're like, we're in a tattoo studio. Some people feel like they can just come in, do, say, act however they want sometimes, and we just have to deal with it. Like, I don't know. It's wild.
I mean, it does make for some good stories, but at the same time, it's like I feel like the more serious you get about tattooing, you don't want to have to deal with that stuff versus when you're an apprentice. It's just funny, wild stuff that happens.
Yeah. Like, I feel like as I get older, it's almost like I want to be respected as a human being too, guys. Like, not just a tattoo artist. Like, I don't know.
So you're a tattoo artist, bro. You're a scumbag. You don't get respect.
I know. I forgot.
Uneducated, dude.
Uneducated. Clearly she was.
Yeah.
How do you not know your titty falls out? Like, I'm just saying.
That's what
like,
I'm saying, bro. Like, she
like
had to have known.
Had to. Like, if my ass crack or something's like hanging out, bro, I'm
you
like,
can feel it.
Yeah, I feel that air, you know what I'm saying?
So, there's a breeze there.
So, wait a second. Let me pull my shirt down and pull my underwear up, you know?
Yeah, dude, she had to have known. And she just brushed it off like, oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, right. Cougar.
Yeah, you did, woman.
But and yeah, that was another not similar story, but it happened at the Needles Inn too. Is this girl? She was just like, and she was like more, yeah, definitely younger, more my age, and she just was like hitting on me like openly, kind of super hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg was, and I was not doing it back, I swear.
Right.
And just trying to be the professional, you know what I mean? Be nice. Hopefully they don't take that as flirting, right? And that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
But Greg was like at the booth next to me, and he had those partitions, like the booths were separated.
Yeah, they don't do much.
Yeah, yeah, but they just separate you in your little
Yep.
cubicle. And so he was in the booth next to me, and he was like behind the direction I was tattooing her. She was faced away from his booth, and so he was behind her. And then every time I would look up, because he wasn't tattooing, I don't think he was just in his booth, kind of hanging out. Every time I would stop and like look up in that direction or at Greg, he would make some sort of face behind her or like do this, especially since she was hitting on me super hard. He was just like doing these like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, like right behind her head, dude. And I was just like trying not to lose it, you know?
Working on Greg was fun.
Yeah.
I've never got to work with Greg, unfortunately.
Yeah. He's a big personality. It's definitely fun.
Yep, stories will be created for sure.
I feel like I got more crazier stories than I do got funny stories.
Well, I'd love to hear some of those. I'm trying to think of some of that stuff, especially in North Vernon, that happened because there was a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of drugs in North Vernon, and there definitely was people walking in that you knew that they were tweaking.
Yeah.
And nothing like. I can't remember anything crazy ever happening. No one came in trying to shoot up the place, but
No,
you know.
I mean, we had some crazy stuff like that happen in Columbus even. We had a homeless guy set our cigarette dispenser on fire one time. Do you remember that?
on purpose.
Yeah. Just lit it on fire. Like took the top off of it and lit some paper up and just set our cigarette dispenser on fire.
That would smell awful too.
And it was like in the middle. It was like the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. And then it caught on fire a couple times. But I think that was just heat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it would smell like just, especially because it's all the filters and stuff in there, and the thing itself was probably plastic.
Yeah, it was.
So it would just smell like burning plastic super bad out there.
Stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this crackhead one time.
Where
She
was
came
this
in-
at?
This is in Kentucky.
Okay.
And she came in. It was one of my homies, her mom. And she came in, got tattooed. I think I'm like tattooing her arm or whatever. She ends up falling asleep on me, you know what I mean? She's coming down. And the whole time, like, I'm tattooing her. You know, it's understandable. Some people kind of like twitch and stuff, but she would like pull her whole arm away from me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I finished the tattoo. She's slumped, absolutely slumped. And, I go ahead and break down, clean up my station and stuff, let her continue sleeping. And, I'm like, yo, wake up. I don't even remember her name, to be honest with you, but kept telling her to wake up. And then couldn't get her to wake up. Step outside, go smoke a cigarette or whatever at that time. Come back inside, she's still asleep. So I end up calling her daughter. I'm like, yo, your mom's asleep. I cannot get her up. What do I do? She's like, listen, you're going to have to be like a little aggressive. Lay your hands on her and like shake her.
You're going to have to use some force. That's probably exactly what you didn't want to do.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like being the tattooer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't. I even had I put like the phone next to her ear and was like having her like, talk to her, trying to like wake her up and whatnot. But nah, I ended up having to like shake her a little bit. I was like, yo, tattoo's all finished, wrapped up, good to go. She ended up leaving. And I ended up leaving right after. Went home. I think it was like 6, 7 o'clock that night. And then her daughter ends up hitting me up. She's like, yo, where's my mom at? I'm like, fuck if I know.
She'd
like,
been
I'm
gone.
home.
She'd been gone for hours. I don't know.
I was like, I've been home for like a good minute. We finished at, such and such time. Come to find out, she ended up just where Secret Lotus was. It was like right across from a Walmart, kind of. It was like up the road, maybe half a mile, and then there's a Walmart there. She ended up just going to a Walmart and fucking slept the whole night.
In her car?
in her car right after the tattoo. Wild.
Yeah.
Wild as shit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's good to know you can do that at Walmart, right? You can like loiter
think so.
in the parking
Yeah.
lot and like it's not.
Yeah, I think they allow like you to park campers there. and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. Well, shoot, man. What else you got? What happened in
See,
old Kentucky, bro?
dude, Kentucky always had a lot of wild shit. See, I worked for Baldy one time, and he tattoos and pierce, and I don't know if he pierces anymore, but anyways, he had this one guy come in, and I guess he would come in religiously, and the dude, the story might be slightly off, but you're gonna get the gist of it.
Okay.
Lady once upon a time told him, his schlong or dong, whatever you want to call it, pee was small.
Okay.
So it affected him, hurt his pride, you know what I mean? And he would come in religiously to get piercings through his like penis. And one time, I think multiple times, he came in and he was so embarrassed that he ended up putting the weights, like actual weights, and was trying to stretch his shit. So he would come in all the time and fucking just drop his shit, fucking weights hanging down, and get another piercing.
So he, like, how many piercings are you talking about he had on his penis?
Fuck if I know. I'm not looking.
Yeah.
A lot, though?
At least a few, I'd say.
Okay.
At least a few.
That's interesting to think about. I mean, I feel like it being an aesthetic thing, piercings or tattoos, like, kind of changes someone's style. There's probably people that do it for insecure reasons. Like it's something that they think looks cool and they like how they look with them. I think that's normal. No problems there.
Yeah, for sure.
I have not ever thought about that, though, with someone being self-conscious about someone one time told them they had a small penis, and so they get their penis all pierced up.
Well,
that's what you're saying,
no,
isn't it?
You're
Pretty
stretching
much,
it.
Yeah.
Basically, you're stretching it.
And I think that comes in. That's no longer a piercing anymore. That's like body modification. It's kind of how I feel about blackouts and stuff like that. There's a difference between like tattoos, piercings, and body modification. I think the extreme covering a large portion of your body or getting implants or your tongue split. I think that's when it turns into body mod. It's no longer the same thing.
Yeah.
Or you're stretching. There's a lot of people in the past that have done like with the modern primitivism stuff.
I don't even know where the line would be on that stuff, but it's almost like it's no longer enhancement. It's modifying completely, like just changing.
Yeah.
No hate, do your thing, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever
It's not.
your boat, you know what I mean? It was just
And people
you don't see that. You know what I mean? Because like he had weights. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a crazy amount of weight, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was
stuff
open
like that's
about
been
it.
practiced for like thousands of years too. Like you can look in old National Geographic magazines with some of like the earliest tattoos and stuff, and it's all got mixed with stuff like that, where you'd see the women with the rings stretching their necks and stuff.
What?
The photos like stretch their neck with all those.
Okay.
They would do
That's
like the same thing in National Geographic, but it would be like guys doing that, but indigenous tribes or stuff like that.
That's wild.
There's a book, Modern Primitivism, and it's basically just like a whole book based on, I've got it if you guys ever want to look at it, but it's basically just like a documentation of just body modification, tattoos, piercings, scarification, stuff like that, and their roots of it and people who took it to those extremes.
I heard,
so wild.
I don't know if it's true or not. I heard those the tribal women that specifically with the neck stretching. I hear that afterward, if you start stretching and it gets to a certain point, that you can't undo it because then there's no muscle in your neck anymore, and it just will be limp. Like I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't know for sure, but I feel like I've heard the same thing.
it's interesting to
I feel
think
like your
about.
muscles can only stretch so far, so that would make sense.
We're stretching those ligaments too, and vertebrae and everything.
That's so wild. Hey, but do whatever you do. You know what I mean?
Sometimes tattooing makes me feel like I need that under my neck.
I swear.
Just pull my head up.
Mhm. Being
I
hun-
seen Flip Shades one time. He was getting some like chiropractor, somebody doing some work on him, and they like wrapped this like band or whatever around his head and like pulled that shit.
I saw Ian. They did it with Ian.
Did they?
Yeah, and it was like I want that done.
That's wild.
The chiropractor thing.
That.
I can't remember his name, but I'll go back through and find it and send it to you. I want to go. If next time I go to Colorado, I'm going to get work by him.
100%
for sure.
Yeah, I've seen all those chiropractor videos online of just popping people's whole body.
Maybe it'll make me 6'5".
Maybe, bro. You never know.
Maybe. Wishful thinking, I guess.
I mean, how tall are you now?
6'4".
No way.
No.
You're 6'4"?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well.
How tall are you?
6 foot and half an inch, maybe 6'1". That's why I didn't realize you're that much taller than me.
I guess it depends on what day.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't help that most times you see me, I'm always, slouched over like a little shrimp.
Depends on what Jordans you're wearing that day.
Usually at the studio I just wear whatever, some bullshit shoes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't want to get them dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, bro.
Yeah, I think all my clothing I own has some type of ink or paint or something on it at this point.
I feel like that's why I have so much black clothing.
Yep.
Doesn't help though that I do a lot of color though. Be a little rainbow speckles everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Matt, you what's the craziest shop story you can think of?
God, having the guy come in the studio with the X for the longest foot. Do you remember that?
The what?
So a guy came in the studio and basically he came in the studio and was he made me uncomfortable from the very, very beginning. As soon as he walked in the door, something just felt off. And he went through this whole story that he was forced to be there by someone and this someone was a group of people that he kept hinting at, but he would never say who these people were. And they wanted him. He had to come to the studio. He had to have it done that day. And he had to get this X on the bottom of his foot to basically signify that, so that he felt every ounce of pain with every step that he took. And it was just super, we ended up having to kick him out of the studio. It was the first day I opened the studio on Central Avenue.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, and was just being super strange. And then we're like, at one point where it's like, yeah, dude, like if you want to come back and get this tattoo, so-and-so has time later on. And he was like, well, I can't leave here. Like if I leave here, then they'll know and I'll be in trouble. And he said, I also don't know anywhere else anything to do here. And then recommended, there's a coffee shop, there's a public park, there's all kinds of stuff around here to go do.
It's a whole city.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I don't think it's a good idea. I go to a public park. And I was like, from that point on, I'm just like, okay, like this is super strange.
Ding, 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 red flags.
Yeah, there's just so many all at once. Basically, he ended up making some gestures or passes towards your client's wife, I believe, as she was sitting outside smoking. I had to ask him to leave, and then as he's leaving, he gets in his car and he takes off and drives down the wrong way all the way down Central, and then we watched him get pulled over right after that. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Dude
was probably messed up.
Yeah, but he was very intelligent. You could tell he was intelligent. You could tell there was it wasn't just like the average person just come in and just spout. Like he had thought up this whole scenario, or maybe he was being forced to get a tattoo or something. I don't know. Really have no idea.
Some intelligent crackheads you gotta watch out for.
It's like you just didn't know what the intention actually was, but I felt off as soon as he walked in. Just this guy, there's something up here.
I'm pretty sure he made everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's been a few of those situations, but that's probably one of the most crazy, where it made me feel uncomfortable. One of the only times I felt okay, I might not be safe right now for some reason. You know what I mean? But, or others, it was weird. I think it was the first time I had to kick someone out of the studio.
Yeah.
You said that was the first day you opened the second Good Vibrations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for day one. Yep. Wild. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. But we dealt with stuff like that over on Beam Road too. Every once in a while.
I'm surprised we haven't had to deal with any kind of nonsense over there now.
Dude, half the people sometimes people do walk in, and half the time, dude, at least when I'm there and someone walks in, they're like, yeah, we had no idea that this was here. How long have you guys been here? And I don't like necessarily tell them, but I'm like, yeah, we kind of like it like that.
Yeah,
as long as we can stay booked, we don't need a sign out front. Now, if it were to get too bad, then it would make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah, that's you operated a little more privately than what I had.
Yeah.
When we were over there, but we still kind of tried to do the same thing at first. It just got out of our hands a little bit.
Yeah. We also had a lot of people there.
Yeah. A lot of people. Half of them were newer tattooers.
Right.
Other than you and Slater, everyone else was like on probably year 2.
Yeah, at most. Yeah.
And there was a few of them.
Yeah.
So it might have been harder to operate like that a little bit.
Yeah, and everyone had their own, which no different than now, just having their own client base and when you have all those people in there, definitely got to be a lot sometimes. And I definitely learned I don't want to have a studio that big ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I don't like, I want to work with people. I enjoy the energy and stuff, but I don't want to manage like 6 or 7 people because especially you guys have seen firsthand the outside drama people bring to work with them.
Yes.
If it's relationship problems or if they're just having a bad day walking around with this like kind of aura around them and like everyone can feel it. You know what I mean? Like I've experienced that in a shop environment. And so I just want to, when it comes to tattooing, I really just want to worry about myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think that that's wrong. It's just, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I enjoy working with like-minded, motivated people. Yeah, but once you bring in that kind of dynamic where there's someone that's just like bringing everyone down or putting that energy transfers to our clients too.
Yeah.
If one person's in there and they're like bummy, walking around the studio, that person's in pain and they're going to feel that. And I think it affects their sessions too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it definitely affects their experience for sure.
I ended up setting rules in place for that shit.
Yep.
That way it don't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This conversation goes a little farther because before you had mentioned, Matt, that you opened a studio too early.
Yes.
And you said it was probably one of your biggest regrets in tattooing is you became a studio owner too early. Do you want to talk about that?
I mean, we definitely can. Yeah, I feel like I had started it just a little early. Like I feel like I wish I would have went out and worked for other people more and been around other artists, and that's why I've stayed so heavily on the tattoo convention scene, and why this next year I want to focus more on doing guest spots and stuff. I just feel like I kind of stifled myself from being to work more intimately with other artists, and I wish I would have done that more.
Yeah,
but hindsight's 2020. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see multiple reasons. Like it sounds like you wanted to focus on your own art and tattoos more and like your own business versus like once you're managing all these people and there's more business aspect to take care of, then sometimes your like tattoo focus gets pushed to the background and it can naturally happen like that.
For sure. And that was a big reason, like wanting to close Good Vibrations and kind of downscale that so I could put more focus back in to me instead of like, and by me, I mean putting more time into my artwork for my clients, more just sole time dedicated towards the tattoos that I personally was putting out.
Yeah, if it's design time, if it's actual tattoo time versus like having to just take care of everyone all the time.
Yeah, because at that time, like it was, my turnaround to get a response sometimes would be 3 to 4 days because I'm trying to like make sure that everyone's in an environment that they want to be in, they want to work in, and it was rough, especially having that many artists for sure.
Yeah.
and then just not everyone. Just you have to try to create a dynamic where everyone's on the same page, too, at the same time. And it was just, yeah, Slater was there for a lot of it. He definitely saw it. We've had multiple conversations around it.
100%.
There's a lot of regrets around for like just how I set up a collective and stuff like that. So I didn't feel like it really worked that well as a collective. But yeah, I learned a lot, took away a lot from it, and I'm happy where I'm at now for sure. And I've been able to downscale and put the focus I wanted to into my work and stuff like that and still have a studio that I'm able to easily manage. And I've got a crew behind me now that are just as driven to do the work too. So
yeah, and you also need to not be afraid to take more time off when you want to.
yeah,
The more people there are, the more drama there is, the more needs.
Yep.
The more needs are needing met, and I feel like having a smaller crew like you have now, it's not just that you don't have to take care of as many people and spread yourself so thin, but it's also like because of that, that's extra time, not just for your tattoos, but also that you can just take off to be a normal human. Because let's face it, tattooers are not normal working adults. It's just a different job. And that can be a great thing if you utilize it, the freedom, or it can be a bad thing because you can also just be like a slave to it. And I know a lot of people who overwork themselves.
Oh, and I'm sure in your eyes, me and Slater both probably overworked. You know what I mean?
I obviously like crack jokes at you guys all the time. Like, freaking take a day off, gosh.
Yeah.
Just because I have set up my life like that. But if you guys love tattooing that much and you want to do it every day, I'm not going to tell you not to.
Right.
It's
for
just,
sure. Yeah, I think it's just perspective.
Yeah.
On what's too much. And but I 100% agree that as tattooers, we need to take more time for ourselves. You know what I mean? Do other things outside of tattooing. That's going to 10x your tattoos if you're doing something for your own mental. And
burnout's real too. So
for sure. 100%. And that opening a studio, that led me, I don't want to say, it's hard for me to say I've 100% ever burnt out on tattooing because I really do. I love it. I'm always trying to read, even if it's just history, and find stuff I didn't know before, even if it's not knowledge that I can apply now. But that definitely led me to a burnout-ish. I would say I wasn't burnt out on tattooing, but I definitely have been burnt out on owning a business before.
I think from an outside perspective on what had happened is you was pouring in to so many other people that your cup ended up getting plumb dry. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
So
just left a shell.
Yeah, and that can happen it can happen slowly, but at the same time, before you know it, you're depleted and there's nothing left for you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
100%. And it was like, even as like a normal tattooer, how often do we have time to really like draw for ourselves or, and stuff like that. So like whenever you're taken away from that, you're taken away from yourself to pour into everyone else around you. Definitely happened. I was barely creating artwork for myself ever, like because of it.
Yeah, eventually you got to pour into yourself and not everybody else.
Yep.
Some people, you can only do so much, and if you don't want that help, then no sense in to continue pouring into people.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Sometimes saying no, saying yes.
Yep. 100%.